As far as single-player games go, it's tough to find a larger, more replayable experience than Monolith Soft's RPG epic, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The amount of depth to the gameplay is impressive and arguably surpasses the original Xeno. Even disregarding the added DLC, players can spend well over 200 hours playing this odyssey and still find things to do or upgrades of some kind to tinker with. Thanks to the unique blade system and many customizable options, players can spend much time decking out Rex and company while playing with tons of tools at their disposal. The combat is an innovative blend of action and strategy that manages never gets old and will have players learning new tricks well into the expansive campaign. The third rendition of Blizzard's hit Dungeon Crawler has the benefit of years of seasoning under its belt. Not only has the game been vastly improved and refined following critiques, but new content has been added to the already deep experience. Diablo 3 offers tons of thrilling gameplay to enjoy alone, online, or with friends thanks to the Switch's couch co-op functionality. The action-packed story mode is robust, as is yet the package brings added post-game challenges, DLC, and grueling difficulty tiers which offer bonuses to keep gamers playing. In fact, completionists can spend close to 200 hours unearthing and collecting everything this package offers. It's hard to find a fresher, more feverishly fun online romp for the Switch than Splatoon. Between the constantly rotating game modes, timed events, story mode, and the co-op 24/7 salmon run, there's always something to do in this mess-making ink shooter. Features like the ranking system and the slew of unlockable weapons and flair keep players coming back for more even today, despite its 2022 release. Even the solo campaign, which most fans found lacking in the original, has been fleshed out and expanded upon in this colorful sequel. Almost all of the many Mario Kart titles contain tons of replay value with their fun, exciting multiplayer options at one's disposal. Yet, this latest console version of Mario Kart is perhaps the best, most massive rendition yet. On top of all the content carried over from the Wii U game, players also get all the previous DLC content, a refined battle mode, and other additional features. The gripping online play is second to none, allowing players to jump right into a match with little sweat. And the Deluxe Booster Course add-ons with all new courses and characters have kept the arcade racing action going. The hero Link is back and better than ever in this more robust, darkly tinged sequel to Breath of the Wild. Like its predecessor, Nintendo encourages thorough exploration and tinkering, thanks to some complex physics, various weapons, and unique creatures to fight. The lands of Hyrule are as vast and menacing as ever, as are the additions of the Sky Islands and Depths, along with several extensive dungeons. A handful of new powers, as well as the ability to fuse objects and materials, give Tears of the Kingdom the feel of an experimental sandbox, one with surprises around every corner. The only thing missing compared to Beyond is the gameplay extending Master Mode, though it's not exactly needed here. It's hard to find an example of a richer, more expansive game in the 2D realm than Relogic's Terraria. Being partly a Metroidvania and partly a crafting romp, Terraria has a wealth of enjoyable gameplay. Gamers can play in the more traditional style of a linear action game, fighting beasts and venturing underground to take out bosses. Or if one prefers, they can simply roam the randomly generated wilderness, crafting and building a thriving mansion or town. On top of this, the game brings seamless multiplayer that allows players and a friend to explore, fight, and plunder in this huge sandbox world together. Despite the elaborate interface designed around the keyboard and mouse, the Switch version of Terraria is surprisingly intuitive thanks to its touchscreen controls. Indie studio Concerted Tape's Stardew Valley somewhat came out of nowhere when it burst onto the gaming scene in 2016, offering a lavish experience. Taking a page from the Harvest Moon and Rune Factory playbook, this dynamic title is brimming with endlessly fun sim content. Players found it easy to get lost in this colorful world for countless hours tending to their farms. Not only this, but players can also venture out to gather craftable materials and slay monsters, more in the vein of Minecraft and Terraria. Additionally, the game has a strong social element, as gamers can join up with friends to add even more depth. Topping the awesome experience of past Xenoblade games would seem to be no easy task, yet Monolith Soft answers the call with this 2022 epic on Switch. This is especially the case when it comes to the lush, war-stricken lands of Aeonios, which make Bionis and Ulrest look tame by comparison. With over 24 classes, a multi-layered battle system that's endlessly appealing, and countless hours of side quests alone, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is particularly hard to put down. No two adventures are the same in this ARPG thanks to its organic, bustling locales and deep real-time combat that allows for 7 party members. As its name might indicate, Hades utilizes Greek mythology and gloomy vistas to its advantage, setting the stage for an intense dark fantasy ride. Supergiant Games pummels players with pursuing waves of hellish foes as they assume the role of Zezadrius, son of Hades. Players fight on in the long-odds hope of fleeing the gates of the underworld, hacking and slashing through many unique foes. With procedurally generated scenes, several weapons and powers, as well as a deep, multi-tiered progression system, players will have their hands full with the wildly fun Hades. Initially a phenom largely bound to Japan, the Monster Hunter series has since spread its wings and soared in Western markets as well, culminating with this enhanced version of 2015's Monster Hunter X. The franchise has sold tens of millions, and for good reason. Players are given countless stretches of terrain to explore and collect resources, as well as a slew of large beasts to slay. During their near-endless odyssey, players can experiment with bounties of different armor and 14 weapon types ranging from swords and hammers to bows and guns. The game stresses long, intense battles both solo and with friends, as the monsters often demand marathon sessions to topple. Generations Ultimate adds even more depth and replayability with the additions of transformable armor and special moves called hunting arts, among other details. Has been Heroes quietly launched on the heels of Breath of the Wild's looming shadow, largely falling off the radar for many Switch owners. This is a shame, as the grindy roguelike gameplay in this tactical combat romp is feverishly fun, even though players will likely meet their demise countless times. Still, this just makes the endless skirmish with the mage heroes all the more enticing as players battle away to unlock new items and characters for later use. The gameplay itself is pretty straightforward, so to speak. Yet, between the procedurally generated gameplay, tons of playable fighters, and countless goods to collect, this indie can keep gamers busy for dozens of hours. The original Super Mario Maker, which was both a 2D side-scroller and platforming creation kit, never quite got its day in the sun on Wii U with its small user base and limited tech. Thankfully, the sequel shines on the more capable Switch, bringing a slew of new features and assets, as well as countless vibrant worlds to play through. The game offers a better constructed solo mode this time around, as gamers can play through a diverse lineup of pre-made stages and work towards rebuilding Peach's castle. But of course, the rewarding gameplay comes from crafting chaotic Mario stages and even overworlds, as well as trying others' creations. Players will quickly discover the near-limitless boundaries of Super Mario Maker 2 with a huge list of user-made courses ranging from quick runners to deep Metroidvania-esque mazes. The game is a love letter to both would-be game designers and Mario fans, as templates spanning decades of the plumber's game history are available to use. Zelda games have been known for their deep, enticing gameplay and awesome campaigns. Yet Nintendo managed to outdo itself with Link's debut on the Switch in early 2017. Drawing influence from titles like Skyrim, the game blends traditional Zelda gameplay with more nuanced, free-flowing sandbox elements. This allows the player to take center stage with its vast environment and malleable physics, while still offering a rich narrative to get lost in. There's just so much to do here, from the vast areas to explore to the countless shrines and massive divine beasts to overcome. Added to this is the DLC featuring the grueling Master Mode, bringing even more to the nearly 200 hours of content for completionists. Nintendo and Bandai Namco pulled out all the stops for this party fighter behemoth. There's the usual exciting, super gripping multiplayer gameplay, which has been acclaimed for its tightened and refined mechanics. But on top of this, Smash Bros. Ultimate offers an absurd roster nearing 90 fighters, over 100 colorful stages, and tons of gameplay modes to mix things up. This includes a smooth and robust online mode that always keeps the action going. Even the single-player options, which are typically viewed as a rare franchise weakness, prove solid thanks to the dynamic World of Light. Often considered the ultimate sandbox game, Minecraft hit the Switch in a major way, offering charming Nintendo flair and DLC from the Bedrock Edition and Legacy Console Edition. Even discounting the added perks, the foundational experience is still a marvel in terms of scope and endless fun content. Thanks to constant procedurally generated worlds, this blocky odyssey really has no end. Even if one has managed to slay the Ender Dragon and make it through the Nether Fortress, players can always collect more riches, slay more creatures, or build their lavish palace ever larger. A decade later, Minecraft has still rarely been topped in terms of its alluring gameplay and vast worlds.